want to go, get like a crime suppression team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I hate people who steal, you know?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna, Miranda warnings, I'm just gonna read it just because if you want to. I know, don't feel like a perp, okay? I'm sorry. No! All right.
She tells him not to feel like a criminal. She even apologizes for reading him his rights. In this room, Miles Bryant is still one of them, a brother in blue. But look at his face. He knows the truth. He's clinging to that badge like a shield, praying his cop speak can hide the 81 minutes of silence in the Georgia woods. He thinks he can outsmart the system he was sworn to protect. But the clock is already ticking. In this episode, we dissect the interrogation of a predator who used his badge as a hunting license. You will see the exact second his shield fails him, and his nervous system begins to scream the truth.
I went toward... God, this sounds bad.
This is the collapse of Officer Miles Bryant. Imagine the smell of a new patrol car, the sharp chemical scent of the leather seats, and the ozone from the radio equipment, the cold hum of the dashboard computer casting a blue light over the face of a man sworn to protect you. On his hip, the heavy, reassuring weight of a Glock 17. For Miles Bryant, this uniform was not a burden of service or a symbol of sacrifice. It was a cloak of invisibility. A hunting license issued by the state, providing him the perfect camouflage to move through the night unnoticed. He was a Doraville police officer, a position that placed him in the elite circle of those we trust with our lives. But on the humid night of July 26, 2022, the badge became something else. It became a lure. Picture 16-year-old Susana Morales walking home through the suburban quiet of Gwinnett County. She is young, vibrant, and focused on the glow of her phone, texting her mother that she is almost home. When she sees those distinctive police markings and the silhouette of a man in uniform, she doesn't run. She feels a surge of relief. She thinks, I am safe now. She was wrong, because the man behind that wheel was the very danger her mother had spent 16 years teaching her to avoid. The air that night was thick, the kind of Georgia heat that sticks to your skin. At 9:40 p.m., Susana's final message was a promise of arrival. But as the clock ticked past 10, that promise began to rot. While her family paced the living room, their eyes fixed on the front door, a silent digital trap was being mapped out in the stars. The prosecution would later reveal a terrifying synchronization. At 10:07 p.m., Susana's Life 360 app recorded a sudden, violent change in direction. She was no longer walking toward her mother. She was being transported toward Oak Lock Trace, a secluded, dead-end street. Simultaneously, the GPS log of Patrol Car 742, Miles Bryant's mobile office, began to ping at the exact same coordinates. He wasn't responding to a call. He hadn't radioed in a suspicious person. He was simply idle in the dark. At 10:21 p.m., Susana's phone emitted a crash detection signal, a high-impact alert usually reserved for car accidents. It was the digital equivalent of a scream into the void. Then the signal died. For 81 minutes, Miles Bryant sat in that total darkness. 81 minutes of absolute silence, where a protector finalized his transition into a predator. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. How does a trained officer think he can get away with this in the age of GPS and digital footprints? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is it pure arrogance or a total break from reality? To truly understand the horror of Miles Bryant, we have to look at the man he was when the lights were off. He held a position known as a courtesy officer at the Sterling Glen Apartments. It gave him more than just a free apartment. It gave him a master key. He held the literal power to enter any door, to invade any sanctuary. And the investigation uncovered that he had been practicing.
Well, my neighbor told me that she saw Miles come into our community and listening to my door when I wasn't home and just trying to see if I was home, messing with my doorknob and stuff. She told me, and when she showed me the video of him.
Bryant saved it as your phone.
Miles the stalker with an axe and a hole.
Did you put that in there?
I sure did.
Why'd you put that in there?
Because he is stalking me and he's a weirdo.
The jury sat in stunned silence as a neighbor described her living nightmare. She spoke of Bryant knocking on her door at 3 a.m., his patrol car idling outside like a threat. When she refused to answer, she would hear the rhythmic, metallic click of his master key turning in the lock. He was testing the boundaries of his dominion. In the world of forensic profiling, this is the predatory grooming of an environment. He was learning that his badge acted as a silencer, muting the screams of those he targeted. Every ignored report, every averted gaze from his superiors, fed his growing God complex. He believed he was a ghost in a blue suit, and by the time Susana Morales crossed his path, he was convinced that the law was something he could simply step over. July 27, 2022. While Susana's mother was at the police station, her face etched with a terror no parent should know, Miles Bryant was playing the victim. At 11 a.m., exactly 2 hours after the missing persons report was filed, Bryant made his move. He didn't just call it in. He stood there, face to face with a fellow officer, reporting his city-issued weapon stolen. There is no panic, no stress. He uses cop speak, providing technical details about an unlocked personal vehicle to make the story more plausible. In the interrogation room months later, detectives would call this preemptive staging. He wasn't reporting a theft. He was discarding the primary piece of evidence in a future murder trial. He believed he had successfully erased his signature from the crime. For the next 7 months, he lived a double life that defies human comprehension. He patrolled the same streets. He wore a new badge. He even looked at the missing posters of the girl he had discarded in the woods like yesterday's trash. Imagine the psychological chilling effect of a man who can look a grieving mother in the eye while knowing exactly where her daughter's remains are resting. February 6th, 2023. The truth has a way of rising even when buried in the red clay of Georgia. The winter brush near Highway 316 had thinned, and a passerby spotted the unthinkable. Skeletal remains, stripped of identity by time and the elements. But justice has a long memory. Lying just yards away was a silver Glock 17 handgun. When the crime lab cleaned the slide and revealed the serial number, the blue wall of protection Bryant had built around himself collapsed. The gun belonged to him. The very weapon he claimed was stolen was sitting in the dirt, waiting to testify against him. The interrogation that followed was a masterclass in narcissistic collapse. Miles Bryant sat in that small, windowless room, still trying to play the Brotherhood card.
I want to get like a crime suppression team, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Like lead it?
Yeah.
Nice.
That probably goes, not lead us, and then probably goes like CID.
Okay.
Detective.
What kind of CID stuff you want to do?
We just have general CID. I don't know. I know it's not breaking up stuff like that.
City agencies.
Yeah. I want to do like maybe like burglary.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I hate people who steal.
Yeah.
I like these.
He called the detectives Sir. He tried to bond with them over the difficulties of the job. But look at the forensic analysis of his body language. He leans back, creating a physical barrier with his own torso. His hands are clenched into white-knuckled fists, a sign of extreme internal suppressed rage. His shoulders are tensed, pushed up to his ears in a turtle posture of defense. He is a man realizing he cannot outsmart the satellites. The detectives slide the GPS overlay across the table.
The phone records put you literally right there. And it's not your personal phone. You call her on your work phone.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
I think my personal phone's dead.
Okay.
But I have both the numbers. I just need to calm down.
Mm-hmm. It shows you in the woods.
In the woods? I wouldn't know that. I've never.
2 glowing lines. Susana's Life 360 pings and Bryant's patrol car logs are a perfect, deadly match. Every turn, every stop, every second of those 81 minutes in the woods.
Basically, we know you were there, but we need to figure out why and what happened. I don't think you're a bad guy. I don't. You weren't brought up here in handcuffs or anything.
Yeah, no.
So, tell me what happened, please.
I don't know. I literally was with my girlfriend, on the phone with my girlfriend, and that's it. I think I was on Instagram.
I mean, it can't just, are you saying it's just a mere coincidence that you end up in the woods, the same place Susana ends up?
Her body was found there, dude.
I was on 316. I remember I was on the phone with my girlfriend, stuff like that. But in the woods, no. In the woods, no.
She was a baby. Look at her. Little baby.
Yeah, I'm sure this is a big weight
Look at
down on you.
her. Look at her.
Have nothing to do with this, so.
I know, but she's tiny. She's a little baby.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we know you did.
But yeah, but it had to be riding through or something. It was never been parked.
Just like phone pings don't lie.
No, I want to say inaccurate, but I wasn't nowhere in the woods. Like, well, I'm nervous right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous.
You've been nervous the whole time.
Yeah. Well, since I talked to you outside your apartment, you've been nervous.
You've been shaking.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know.
I told you were coming up here. You know, we wanted your help and everything, and your hands were shaking in my car.
Yeah, because you could interview me there instead of here, so I already knew it was something.
Look at his hands. Watch the way he avoids the gaze of his brothers in blue. This is the autonomic flare, the massive physiological crash of a predator who realizes the digital breadcrumbs have led the hunters straight to his door. Sitting side by side with his colleagues, the man who thought he was untouchable was suddenly, pathetically, trapped. When his lies finally failed him, he tried one last manipulation. He claimed she died of an overdose, and he panicked. It was a final act of cowardice, an attempt to blame the victim for her own disappearance. But the science of the GPS and the staging of the gun report proved it was a calculated hunt from the very beginning. June 2024. The courtroom was a collision of raw human pain and cold judicial reality. Susana's mother, Maria, stood at the podium, her voice a fragile thread of grief. She spoke of the messages she received during those 7 months of waiting, anonymous voices threatening to return her daughter in pieces. She spoke of the rain and how she couldn't sleep because she wondered if Susana was cold. Through all of it, Miles Bryant sat stone-faced, his eyes vacant. He spent hours in that interrogation room trying to manipulate the truth, weaving stories about side pieces and stolen weapons. His own defense tried to paint him as a miracle baby who had simply gone dark. But the judge saw through the mask. When given his chance to speak, Bryant offered a hollow 5-second apology that felt like an insult to the room. "I just want to apologize to everybody and Susana's family." No tears, no explanation, no soul. Judge Tamala Adkins delivered a sentence that felt like the closing of a tomb: life without the possibility of parole. The badge he betrayed is now a piece of evidence. The uniform he used as a cloak has been replaced by the yellow jumpsuit of the condemned. Karma has finished its long, painful journey in Gwinnett County. Justice for Susana Morales was delivered by the very technology Bryant thought he could outsmart. Her name will be a symbol of the light that refuses to go out. His name will rot in a concrete cell, a reminder that the badge is not a shield for monsters. If you believe that no one is above the law, drop a justice in the comments below. Subscribe to Karma Courtroom Files for more investigations into the shadows of the human heart. Because in this courtroom, the shadows may hide the crime, but the light always finds the truth. We'll see you in the next case.